Hello everyone, and welcome to our best of one match to decide who is going to proceed to our final round in our FFA tournament between Blues and Gameslayer. We had some unfortunate disconnects that really hurt Gameslayer's chances of pulling through in the FFA. He had almost secured that second match, was so close to being in a position where it was unwinnable for everyone else. A disconnect came through, so the ruling came down that whoever won the two games, if it wasn't Gameslayer, would have to beat Gameslayer one more time to earn their last spot. And so that's what we're doing right here and now. Gameslayer getting a little cheeky there. As we all know that founding second is usually preferable in the 1v1 situation. Let's go ahead and take a good look at the map as it stands. We've got some water, 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 and that's it. That's it. That's all the water, guys. We're not looking at a lot of adjacency there. We do have ice, but obviously you do not want to have to put down ice. Ice is just bad. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Ice is just bad. If you're in a position where you have to use ice, you've probably made a mistake somewhere along the way. Finally, we're down to that 0 debt. I feel like that has slowed down significantly from where it used to be. And now I'm stuck with trying to kill time for like 8 minutes at the start of the match and go on and on about a map where we do have small amounts of carbon that are usable but not good for a scavenger. Some decent silicon available. One person going to end up with a high tile. And plenty of iron scattered about, which Gameslayer is going to use to found robotic early and get to that upgrade very, very quickly. He's going to be trying to press through here. So, Blues has also founded robotic. These guys are on opposite corners of the map. Gameslayer, it looks like, is going to be the first one to secure that aluminum. He's got his buildings online and functional, and Blues just hasn't quite managed to push to HQ level 2 yet. Gameslayer pulled it off fast enough that he got all the nice resource buys very early. Blues did not. He has to wait on his steel production in order to actually push to HQ level 2. Which we are going to see right here and now. So, what do these guys do from here becomes the question. You can see Gameslayer has split his steel mills. He wants to make sure he is not excessively vulnerable to the EMPs, and he has taken an aluminum tile. That's going to be his 6 tiles taken up. Blues is going to have 7. He is not as worried about the EMP here, which is dangerous. Basically forcing himself to a position where he has to pick up a goon squad very quickly, and then his last tile will be committed to aluminum as well. Whoa, Blue's actually buying an EMP first. That, I think, was dangerous. Might not be a bad idea, but Gameslayer already has 132 iron stored up, so the iron not actually as valuable as it may look at first glance. Oh, a mule! Don't let that go for 3,000! Oh, the mule went over to Blues for 3,000. You can't be doing that with iron as valuable as it is. Not as valuable as it looks, but still certainly not bad, I don't think. That is very unfortunate for Gameslayer, bugs in the system and all that. I don't know what else to say. What I want Gameslayer to do here and now, he got EMP'd. He can see the price on goon squads. He knows what's going on with that. I just want to see, it land right here. Right here. It's so beautiful. It's so perfect. Online. Go. Boom. There it is. There's that wonderful little EMP on the Blues. This is the danger you've got when EMPs are available and you've gone robotic. Gameslayer playing around it. Blues chose not to. That is going to hurt Blues quite a bit. Now, he's still in a strong position, I think, because he's got that extra claim. The freeze is not going to last as long on his very valuable iron tiles. So I think he's still going to be alright, but Gameslayer has managed to keep himself in it with, I think, stronger tile placement than Blues had. Gameslayer does push to HQ level 3 first. He can potentially pick up an extra claim if he wants to at some point this game, because for this black market, we've got new claims, magnetic storms, EMPs, circuit overload, network virus, underground nuke, dynamite, and of course goon squads. So It's going to be interesting to see how all those things can actually get utilized this game. Blues has picked up a Goon Squad for himself. Gameslayer not using his black market cooldown right away, as he did choose to upgrade and doesn't really have a large amount of cash on hand. I would not mind seeing out of Gameslayer. Yeah, he's just going to grab a Goon Squad. I think that's fine. Can't get a lot done with a new claim right now, certainly. So I don't mind seeing that at all. No power down yet for either of them. Blues has, however, claimed a Geotherm, but that is a very expensive tile to use. Steel, not prohibitively expensive, $43, but you still got to commit 120 of it onto this tile if you want that Geotherm. So it'll be interesting to see who actually gets an advantage out of that.
Freelance pirates
and filthy pirates. Oh, underground nuke. Underground nuke right into Gameslayer's water. Gameslayer had gone for the medium water with nukes available in trying to get adjacency bonuses rather than going for the high water tiles. And you can see that he got punished for that right there. Now, ice is still an option on that tile, so it'll actually pull more water in from having that as ice than as a water pump if it's alone. But that's a strong nuke out of Blues. I like it. $32,000 is what those pirates are going to go for on over to Gameslayer. That's a little dangerous, but he doesn't have too much debt from that just yet. It'll be interesting to see how he can make that work against Blues. Gameslayer buying into the carbon shortage quite heavily. Blues does not seem to have the cash on hand to really do that as effectively. Gameslayer, I think, still with a slight edge here, but that nuke is going to hurt him, especially if he doesn't do anything to mitigate it. Get that rotated into ice, something of that nature. Get extra water pumps down. I don't really care. Blues, of course, took a high water tile himself. He did take the wrong high water tile. I think it is a definitively wrong decision this game, because they're both very, very similarly distanced away from his base. But one of them has ice, and one of them doesn't. So Gameslayer is going to get the ice water tile.
I hate those filthy bandits.
And Gameslayer has committed to another water pump as well. The adjacency bonuses should be enough to compensate for the fact that he is not having an ice tile down, as these are giving him 1.88 water per second instead of 1.6. But still, not exactly where he wants to be. Alright, pirates are hitting water at this point. No big surprise there. Water is up at $46 a piece. Gameslayer's been consuming a fair amount of that to keep his farms operational. So I'm not surprised to see that at all. And Gameslayer with HQ level 4 has also committed into a Geotherm. Does he have another? Because he needs 2. And I'm not seeing it, but he does have a new claim available for $3,000. I think if there ever was time to purchase a new claim in a 1v1, it might be now. Just go ahead, get that picked up, secure the power that you desperately need, because, man, he is leaking power like crazy still. And move forward from there. I'm nervous about the fact that Gameslayer doesn't seem to be confident about what he wants to do with this black market or with his money right now, and it'll be interesting to see how that pans out long term. Meanwhile, Blues has managed to push to HQ level 4, and he has popped that Geotherm of Gameslayer's with a dynamite. A little frustrating, not the end of the world. And teleportation auction. Alright then. What is this going to go for? Blues also moving into a lot of extra power. I like that very much. Taking those solar panels is a fantastic decision in my opinion. Power's up at 277. And Gameslayer, nervous about teleportation, doesn't think it's all that valuable. He's going to let that go for $10,000. Oh, and then a circuit overload, which unfortunately for Gameslayer, maybe a bit mispositioned. It does not pan out very well. Only hitting 2 of these steel mills, which then just get shut off so that they don't cause too many problems. Would have been really interesting to see a network virus combined with circuit overload play there. Force him to be buying all that power. I would have loved to see that. Now, Gameslayer has a little time to get some power online before day breaks. these solar panels activate and start paying down Blue's debt fantastically. He could try another circuit overload as well in about 16 seconds to see if he can keep that power knocked down, but no guarantee that's going to work out. And in the meantime, Blues just keeps hammering these geotherms, trying to make sure Gameslayer cannot actually establish his own power. Day is hit, and that is 2,000 debt paid off per second. Okay, we are just going to get a very simple EMP onto the solar panels. So we're down to 200 debt per second to 300 paid off for Blues. But Gameslayer, he's now in that D level. And that means he is locked out of the black market for the time being. Absolutely needs to get these geotherms online. Needs to get solar panels down. Needs to do something to deal with this fact. Because all of this is basically just costing him money now. Because he's absolutely going to have to pay that debt down someday. The advantage he has, his edge, is he is HQ level 5. We never really took a look at the Offworlds, so we can do that now. We see that they're not that great. Food at 441. 377 is really what you're looking at after that. More dynamite landing on these geos. That is hard for Gameslayer. That is hard. And then 416 for electronics. Not a fantastic Offworld market. So the HQ level 5 making less of a difference. And Gameslayer, he has so much debt. He's down at a $4 stock price right now. He just never, ever, ever got the power established the way he needed to. He never dealt with that problem appropriately. And suddenly Blues is just looking at it like, well, I'm pulling in money from these solar panels now. He's just turned off everything else. He's like, I don't need power, or I don't need resources. Just give me the cash straight up. Sure, why not? He does not want this geotherm. Blues does not, I don't think. I think it's actually ridiculous that he's bidding on it at all. Maybe he doesn't realize how close he is to being able to pull off the victory. But that's suddenly just a lot of... Well, on the other hand, he paid it down in 2 seconds. So maybe not the end of the world for him. It was straight cash he had to pay, but... Oh, Gameslayer's still alive for a moment. For a moment. But this debt, he has to get this paid down. Or his other option is he can wait for Blues to buy all these up and then just buy himself and then try to pay down debt. That is definitely an option of his, but unfortunately he doesn't have the cash on hand to do it. So I don't see it working out for him. You can see his price is rising, but Blues got the stock while the getting was good. Very, very cheaply acquired all of those. This Gameslayer's still in massive amounts of trouble at this point while he tries to recover. He needs to pay off 100,000 debt just to get access to the black market again. That is not what you want to see. I'm going to tab out for just one moment. I don't know why there have been so many of these guys lately. That's not what I wanted. There we go. There we go. Got to get more admins at some point. Blues is likely not going to upgrade. He's going to see that he only needs 100,000 to kill Gameslayer at this point. Gameslayer is stuck in the mud, needing to pay down debt desperately, basically just relying on his geotherms to do it for him. But it is not fast enough. You can see Blues ticking up like 1% a second right now on Gameslayer, which means this game could be over momentarily. The freeze, the EMPs on the solar panels, gonna be the nail in the coffin, and Blues is gonna take our best of 1 series and move on to the final round in our FFA tournament, purely based off of power. That is a classic way to kill off Gameslayer and finish up a game. Let him do it himself. Alright guys, well,